This is Trinity Storm and you are watching second part of What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Jiraiya during 3 years training trip. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
He saved the K's cage and killed an S-rank missing nin with relative ease, Danzo says as he tosses the report. Jiraiya was standing next to Danzo and picking up the report. He's proving his S-rank status. Spring has surely found a diamond among the trash, he says. Indeed. Sasuke has expressed a desire to confront this ghost, Danzo says. I have no doubts about the Uchiha's abilities, but rushing into battle with an unknown is concerning, Jiraiya says.
It appears that the Spring Daimyo was correct in his assessment that he was not in country, Danzo says, and Jiraiya nods.
This actress may use this to gain favor for alliances with other nations, Danzo adds. She is a talented actress. I'd like to see her in an Icha Icha film, Danzo shakes his head as Jiraiya says. We must bring this ghost in. I want you to go to Spring and persuade Ghost to visit Konoha. Danzo gives the order, and Jiraiya nods before exiting through the window. A knock on the door echoes, and it opens to reveal Ino, who says, Hokage-sama. What is it, Yamanaka? Asks Danzo. Did Kakashi Sensei report to you my findings? Ino asks as she closes the door. He did. 2 med nin on par with Godem and her apprentices, Danzo inquires, and Ino nods. Mercy claimed she duped the traitor into teaching herself in Sen, Ino says. And you think Tsunade could have taught others? Danzo asks, and Ino nods, I will look into it. Thank you, Hokage-sama, says Ino as she excuses herself. Danzo gets up from his seat and walks over to the window. These two may have met Ghost. What other mysteries does this ghost possess? He pondered. Spring countery. Naruto was in a Seiza position on the roof of his main house while numerous clones went over the scroll Gaara gave him. Hinata was in a similar position to him while Sum and Hana were out with their ninkin. While Tsunade and the others were meeting with Koyuki to look over the shinobi candidates, Yugo was practicing several sword katas. Do you want any of us to accompany you to Grass Country, Naruto-kun? Hinata inquires. As a few clones have dispelled, Naruto slowly opens his eyes and rubs his head. I don't have faith in Sasori. However, I require him. He is merely a means to an end, he claims. Means to an end? Hinata inquires. Naruto reclines on the roof and gazes at the clouds, yes. He can help me with my objectives and be an asset to our small mercenary band, he sighs, and I can see why Shikamaru enjoys looking at the cloud. He ponders. Hinata frowns as she lays back onto his stomach. He betrayed you, Naruto-kun, she says. It would have been too difficult not to. Shikamaru is astute. He is aware of who I am, but because he is lazy. It's just easier to follow the crowd than to go against the grain. Choji will follow because he is a dupe. Despite the fact that the Aburame are shunned to some extent, Shino will take the logical path, as stated by Naruto. After your death was announced, Neji reverted to his fate spiel. When he discovered the truth, he claimed fate was making up for his loss to you. Kiba has been attempting to bed me, but Sum-sama and Hana-san have been chastising him. It's one of the reasons their clan is disintegrating, Naruto growls as Hinata says. Tenten is a huge fan of Neji. Lee is a complete hypocrite. You returned Tsunade-sama to Konoha to be Hokage and saved him, but the moment he discovers the truth, he turned away from you, Hinata continues, with a small hiss. Naruto laughs softly and flicks Hinata's nose. Don't be concerned about them, Haim. When the time comes, we'll deal with them, he claims. Oi Gaki. We're back, Anko exclaims. The two leap to their feet and follow Anko inside the living room, where everyone is sitting. Alright, if Tsunade hasn't already told you. I'm going to meet missing Nin Sasori of the Red Sand in Grass Country, Naruto begins. Is that prudent? He is partially to blame for the Cage's capture, Sakura declares. While this is true, Sasori is merely a means to an end for me. I'll use him to entice Zetsu to come out. If it doesn't work, I'll kill him and try again. It's as simple as that, Naruto elaborates. And what if Sasori plays ball and lures Zetsu out? Hana wonders as she strokes one of her triplets. Then Sasori may help us as a member of Kuroi Yhi, Naruto says, drawing a few puzzled looks. Kuroi Yhi, or Black Sunset, is our answer to Akatsuki. We'll be mercenaries in the same vein as them. We'll amass bounties and build our reputation, he continues. That's intriguing. It gains us notoriety and, in the end, allows us to enter Konoha under the guise of bounty hunters, Tsunade says, smirking at Naruto. Exactly. Konoha has already expressed an interest in meeting with me. Sasuke will undoubtedly complain to Danzo and press the issue, says Naruto. Ino, too. She was being extremely nosy. Tsunade-sama concocted the story that we sought her out and conned her into teaching us while we were healing Kankuro-san, and Kazekage-sama, Shizune elaborates. I'm sure that will frighten the mummy. Two med nin that are on par with the Slug Princess. It'll make him curious about our ghost, Anko claims. That is something one can hope for. We will now work in groups, much like the Akatsuki. Tsunade, Sakura, and Shizune will make up our medical team. Anko, Yugo, and Hinata will make up our T&I strike team. Sume and Hana will be our tracker team. I will be a member of a single strike team, but these are temporary and subject to change. According to the mission, Naruto explains, and several people nod in agreement. How was sex with Tsunade and Shizune? Sume asks, causing Shizune to eep in surprise. Tsunade says, he can eat you out like a champion, and Naruto cringes. Anko laughs loudly but also licks her lips, crooning, Mama likes, and Naruto sighs, considering putting a seal on his bedroom door for the foreseeable future. Aim. Diva Pain looks down from the highest tower at his rain-soaked domain, his unblinking eyes unwavering in their pursuit. Footsteps draw his attention, and he turns to his faithful companion. Has Sasori been found, Conan? Diva Pain inquires. Conan says, no. Sasori has gone dark. What about Deidara's ring? Diva Pain inquires. Zetsu was able to sneak into Suna and retrieve the ring. Because of the attack, security is still on high alert. Conan claims Diva Eyes Pain's narrow when he hears about their failure to capture and seal the Ichibi. What about this ghost? He wonders. He appears in the bingo book. His origins are unknown, but according to Zetsu and Sasori's reports. In the spring, he appeared as a phantom, saving the country from genocide by the Land of Sky. Iwa dubbed him the Ghost of the Flash, and the general public refers to him as the Ghost of Spring. In the battle, he used various clones and used speed similar to the Kiroi Senko. He also carries a pitch-black sword and enough power to sink the floating island, Conan elaborates. I see. His threat to prevent us from collecting the Biju is ridiculous. This ghost will not obstruct our path to peace, says Diva Pain. His reasoning is not dissimilar to ours. He appears to want to protect them, even from their countries, Conan claims. It makes no difference. To oppose us, he is an enemy of peace. As God, he is a threat, says Diva Pain, turning to Conan. Contact Zetsu and have him find and kill Sasori. He gives the order. And what if he meets Ghost? Conan wonders. And Zetsu is going to kill him as well. Request that the others keep an eye out for this Ghost and kill him if the opportunity arises, Conan bows and Diva Pain states as she turns on her heels. Nagato. You're changing too quickly. Yahiko would be horrified to see you dressed like this, Conan pondered. This Ghost poses a threat to our objectives, a voice says, stopping Conan in her tracks. She moves her gaze to a tall and lithe figure wearing an orange spiral mask with a lone eye poking out from beneath a hooded cloak. He could be an ally, Madara, Conan says. He is fighting for a small and vulnerable country. He is a skilled fighter, but he is a big fish in a small pond, Madara declares. Then wouldn't it be best if we recruited him to our cause? Conan asks, but Madara's eyes narrow. No. Our god has commanded his death, and Toby is a good boy, Madara says before swallowing him. Conan paused for a moment before continuing. I don't trust him, she reasoned. Spring Countery. An hour later, Naruto goes to the kitchen for breakfast, where he finds Hinata and Tsunade preparing food. Good morning, Naruto. Naruto-kun, both said as Naruto took a seat at the table and waved his hand. Anko will not be joining us for breakfast, says Naruto. Tsunade places a glass of orange juice in front of him, insinuating, so this makes 4 now, as Naruto sighs and nods. I accidentally left the seal off my room, and she got in, says Naruto. So Anko finally got you, huh? Pup. I'd like you to turn me on as well, Tsume says as he walks up with a shit-eating grin. As the others enter, Naruto rubs his brow. Please don't, he says quietly. You didn't make Anko do it, Sakura says, her green eyes glowering him. It was actually the other way around. She broke into my room and took advantage of me, Naruto defends himself, but Tsume laughs. Anko has been waiting for you to make a mistake. Ha ha ha, Tsume says. So today is the day, huh? Hana inquires, and Naruto nods while stuffing some sausage into his mouth. I sent out some clones yesterday to scout the area and mark a suitable location for Hiraishin to hide. Sasori did not specify a time other than noon, Naruto elaborates. You should really bring one of us with you, Naruto-kun, Hinata suggests, but Naruto shakes his head. Hime. I'll be fine, says Naruto. And if Sasori is shady? Tsunade inquires, while Naruto runs his finger across his neck. Breakfast continues as they finish their meals and return to their daily routines. Naruto throws his coat on his bed before slipping into his black cargo pants and mesh shirt. After that, Naruto puts on a dark blue skin-tight shirt, dark blue gloves, and metal guards on top, before pulling his mask up over his mouth. Naruto-kun, Hinata says, turning to grab his coat. I require your assistance, Hime. I require you to erect a paralysis barrier in the courtyard, says Naruto. For Sasori, Hinata says, nodding and slipping on his coat. Naruto makes a fist and pulls out his hidden blade, saying, yeah. He still can't be trusted. Even if he works with us. Hinata follows Naruto outside to the courtyard, where he squats and places a Hiraishin mark. Set it up around here. I'll be back soon, Naruto says before disappearing. Hinata returns inside to retrieve her Fuinjutsu supplies, informing the other characters of Naruto's plan. The Tenchi Bridge. Sasori slowly approaches his target but comes to a halt as Naruto stands next to a tree with his arms folded. You've arrived on time. I despise waiting, as Naruto falls into step with him, Sasori says. I enjoy being on time. Tardiness is a flaw, Naruto remarks, recalling his former sensei. Unbeknownst to Sasori, The former Konoha shinobi has clones on the lookout for a specific entity. Has Akatsuki come looking for you? Asks Naruto. With a swish of his tail, Sasori scoffs, I've stayed off their radar for the time being, but I doubt they've given up looking for me. Zetsu will come looking for you, he remarks. Zetsu, Naruto inquires, feigning ignorance. He is the Akatsuki's spy behind me, says Sasori. When the two arrive at the bridge, Naruto retreats behind a tree, his eyes closed and his senses focused. A cloaked figure slowly approaches the bridge, but Naruto ignores their conversation, but a smile appears on his lips and he vanishes in a white flash, leaving a clone in his place. A strange and almost out-of-place thing was about a mile away from Tenchi Bridge. It looks like a large Venus flytrap, but it's dressed in a black cloak with red clouds. The flytrap gradually opens, revealing a person with a literal black and white side. When are we going to strike Sasori and his companion? The white half asks. Soon, but Sasori's companion is strange. It's the person who murdered Deidara, according to the black side. So they're collaborating. The Akatsuki has been betrayed by Sasori, says White Black's eyes narrow, but then a black sword erupts from their body, and a voice hisses, found you. What is this? Exclaims White. Naruto circles them with an amused smile under his hood, its name is Zangetsu. Zetsu-san, he says, turning to face the pair. Naruto laughs as Zetsu tries to sink into the ground, don't bother. I've built a barrier around us. You cannot flee as usual, he claims. You're the spring ghost, Black says, and Naruto nods. I am. So you were present. You were watching as a coward, says Naruto, what is this? Black hisses as kanji begins to spread from the sword and onto their bodies. Old man Hagoromo left that sword and another to his son Asura with very specific instructions on their purpose. Naruto begins, removing his hood. Hagoromo. How do you know that name? Exclaims Black. Well, I am one of 9, but I am one of a pair, Naruto says, revealing his sun mark as he slowly reaches for his right glove. Impossible Asura's reincarnation, White says, smiling. The same. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze at your service, as well as the new Kyuubi no Yoko, Naruto reveals his tales. So you've been hiding for 2.5 years. Whatever Madara's will is, says Black. Stop attempting to lie, Black Zetsu. Today is your death anniversary, and Mommy Dearest remains sealed, says Naruto, and Black freezes. I guess I caught you off guard. This is a first for you. Hagoromo revealed everything to me. How you persuaded Indra to fight his brother. Every sinister plot in the world has your black fingers wrapped around it. All in an attempt to resurrect Mommy Dearest, Naruto continues. Mother is deserving of life. You're just pawns in her game. In this world, only Kaguya's will is true, Black yells. You are nothing more than a child. Whining for his mother to bring Kaguya back, you shape the world into an endless wheel. A never-ending cycle of hatred and war. That, however, ends today. With my will, I will break that wheel, Naruto yells, spreading his arms. A Rasengan is formed by flames that grow and grow. Another Rasengan forms a screeching shuriken in the left hand with whipping wind. In comparison to Kaguya's will, you are nothing. You're just another piece of shinobi history I made up. A brat like you will never be able to destroy me, Black yells. He doesn't seem to care, White says as he struggles to get free. Naruto combines the large balls of wind and flames. You are incorrect, Black Zetsu. Many people's lives and deaths were used to build the shinobi world. Rasengan will obliterate you to oblivion, and Zangetsu will destroy everything connected to you. Old man Hagoromo became suspicious of your existence and took action. Zangetsu and Tensa Zangetsu were created specifically for this purpose. Disrupting and poisoning your chakra, he claims for the first time in its life, Black Zetsu was terrified, I will not be erased. Mother help me! He shouts. Your shadow has loomed over the shinobi world for far too long. This sun will root it out. Rising Sun Rasengan, Naruto exclaims, bringing it down and engulfing Zetsu in a thunderous burst of flames supercharged by wind. Mother, mother. Moth. Black screams as he and White Zetsu are erased from existence. Numerous clones of White Zetsu begin to shrivel and die in unknown locations due to brain loss. Naruto looks at the crater with serious eyes. Hopefully this is the end of Zetsu, but one cannot be too careful, he thinks as he pulls on a seal on his left hand. Another black sword with a spiral hilt appears gradually, but the black blade becomes more curved as it approaches the tip, with 3 protrusions along the blunt end of the sword near its tip. I still have Tensa Zangetsu if necessary, Naruto thought before disappearing in a flash of white. Naruto reappears near the bridge and deflects Sasori's spiked tail with Tensa, saying, problems. Orochimaru has returned to Konoha, and Otto is also their protector, Sasori says, as Naruto thumbs his chin in thought. That's fascinating. So, have you made your decision? Naruto inquires. I'll help you in exchange for Kakashi Hatake and Orochimaru, Sasori says, opening his Hirako puppet. Naruto gives Sasori a firm handshake, then we've got a deal. Let us now proceed, he claims as they vanish without a trace. Sasori seals his Hirako puppet and Naruto grasps his shoulder. Spring. Naruto and Sasori reappear in Naruto's compound's courtyard, but the latter comes to a halt because his body isn't moving properly. What is this G-host? Asks Sasori. With a smirk, Naruto turns and removes his hood. I just had an epiphany. I don't need you anymore. Because I won my prize, he claims as Naruto reaches for his mask. Sasori's eyes narrow. What prize? He asks. So, I killed Zetsu. You were excellent bait for luring him out, says Naruto, and Sasori's eyes widen but quickly close. As Hinata and the others enter the courtyard, Sasori hisses, you used me. Naruto nods as he removes his mask. I did, indeed. I could have also used Deidara. If Zetsu didn't show up, I'd just kill the bait and find another member to lure him out, he claims. Those splotches on your cheeks. You are Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Sasori claims. Naruto nods as he scratches his ear. You're only half right. I am no longer a Jinchuriki, but I am a Kyuubi, he says this while revealing his tails and ears. You've become extremely cunning and ruthless. It takes a boisterous fool to fool someone as cautious as myself, Sasori praises himself. I gratefully accept your compliment. With Zetsu's death, and soon yours, Akatsuki's spy network has been crippled, Naruto says, making a fist and releasing his blade. I was checkmated by a brat. Uzumaki, please take my body to my grandmother and kill Orochimaru, Sasori claims. Naruto walks around Sasori and puts his hand on his shoulder, saying, consider it done, as he drives his blade through the cylinder in Sasori. Alright Hinata. You can drop it, says Naruto as the infamous Suna missing nin collapses like a puppet devoid of strings. Hinata lowers her hands and channels her chakra, allowing Naruto more freedom of movement. Success. Zetsu is dead, and Akatsuki is temporarily paralyzed, Naruto says, kneeling down and picking up Sasori. However, Infinite Tsukuyomi remains a threat, Naruto adds as he walks to the dojo, the other following. Tsunade asks, Infinite Tsukuyomi, questions. It's Kaguya Otsutsuki's dark machinations. A global genjutsu that traps all of humanity in a never-ending dream and drains their chakra to feed the Shinju, Naruto explains, surprising everyone. How can something like that be possible? Asks Anko. Hana unlocks the dojo doors, and Naruto places Sasori on the floor. The Biju were once known as the Jubi. Zetsu has been orchestrating events in order for the Jubi to return and awaken Kaguya. He says this while searching Sasori's body. Zetsu's dead, so it can't be done properly, Hana says, but Naruto shakes his head. The man who attacked my parents stated that he intended to remake the world in his image. This Uchiha is still capable of producing infinite Tsukuyomi. This emphasizes the importance of rescuing Biju, Naruto elaborates. Sakura, Tsunade, Shizune, and Anko erected a barrier. It could be poison, and the 4 points in the dojo, says Naruto. They yell, Ninpo, 4 flames jutsu. As Naruto searches for seals, Hinata activates her Byakugan to look for traps. Any traps? He inquires. None yet, Hinata says. Take care. Sasori is Chiyo's grandson, and he may be poisoned, Tsunade makes a comment. Tsume says outside the barrier, he doesn't even look human anymore, just a puppet, and Naruto nods. He fashions human puppets. I offered him Kakashi and Orochimaru in exchange for him dropping his guard, finding a scroll marked 3rd, says Naruto. When the scroll is opened, smoke erupts, and a puppet with dark blue hair and yellow eyes dressed in a Marin cloak appears. That would be the 3rd case cage. He had been missing for a long time, Tsunade makes a comment. As Naruto examines the body, black sand begins to emerge and pool on the floor. Interesting. Sasori appears to have outfitted him with his signature iron sand. Notes on Tsunade. Naruto tilts his head in thought, but channels the chakra Shukaku gave him, and the sand slowly began to move, surprising the others. This will come in handy, Naruto says, holding a large orb of iron sand. How the hell are you doing that? Anko asks, smirking at Naruto. Shukaku the Ichibi shared some of his chakra with me. It's most likely due to my Yang 6 path power. The sand is sealed into a blank scroll, says Naruto. Can you do this with the other Biju? Asks Yugo. Probably, but I'd have to commune with them, and some will be very nervous, Naruto says as he begins sealing Sasori into a stasis scroll but holds up a strange ring. Why should they be concerned? You are assisting them as they lower the barrier, Sakura comments. Remember, the Yanbi and Gobi blame me for Kurama's death, and I've only met Matabi, the Nibi, and Yugito, explains Naruto. So, Naruto-kun, what now? Bring Sasori back to Suna, Hinata inquires, and Naruto nods. Yes, news of their deaths will reach Akatsuki. I'll return him to Suna before heading to Fire Capital to meet with my contacts, Naruto explains as he pockets the ring. Have you ever sought assistance from the daimyo? If necessary, he could apply pressure to Konoha. Tsunade shakes her head as Shizune says. In the fall Uzushio, the daimyo is smug. Gigi discovered this after acquiring a journal from the previous Azukage. He later confirmed it after the daimyo mentioned it after I was born, Naruto elaborates. So, if you became Danzo's weapon, you'd unlock all the treasures of Uzushio in your father's compound, Hana observes. It came in one. Who wants to accompany me to Suna and the capital now? Says Naruto. I'm definitely going. I'm getting bored here, Sakura expresses herself. I'd like to go, Naruto-kun, Hinata says. Okay, but we'll have to do something about your eyes, Naruto says as Hinata waves her hand. Okay, I'd like the rest of you to pitch in and start collecting bounties. Make the name Black Sunset known. Dojima has created some unique cloaks, Naruto says, and they all nod. Naruto exits the dojo and settles into one of his larger trees. Step 1 of kurama is complete. This should entice Madara or his faker, he pondered. Flashback. Over here, boy. Kurama says as Naruto struggles to move in knee-deep water while his body burns from Jiraiya's seals. Boy, be grateful for what I am about to do, Naruto says as he slowly makes his way to the cage. Grateful? Ero Sennin had betrayed me. He's going to hand me over to this Danzo dude, Naruto yells. That mummy and feckless toad aren't going to get you. I've put a significant amount of space between us and them. Now pay attention. I've begun a forbidden jutsu on you, Kurama says, widening Naruto's eyes. This jutsu was taught to us by my father, the sage of the six paths. He instructed us to only use this to save the soul of a truly innocent person, as cracks form on the gate, Kurama says. What? Why? Naruto yells. You have a truly pure soul. You should never have suffered as much as you did, Kurama says with a grin, so be thankful for Naruto and make sure you kill Madara for me. He continues before exploding with red light. Naruto cries out in agony as his body is flooded with chakra, but two voices call his name before he collapses. Flashback concludes. Naruto rubs his eyes and looks down, noticing Sakura and Hinata looking up worriedly. Naruto sighs and hops down. Sorry, I was thinking, he says. I'll say. We've been calling you for 5 minutes, Sakura says, her arms folded and her hair cut into a pixie. Naruto looks down and notices Hinata holding a cloth. It's for my eyes only. I'll still be able to see things, she says, her eyes closed. Alright. We'll arrive in River City and then travel to Sanagakure. I don't want to show up unannounced at Gaara's office, and both of them, says Naruto. Naruto shakes his head and grabs their shoulders, saying, let's go, and the trio vanishes. Among the many dunes of the Windland was a horse-sized black fox with 2 white tails, and on its back were Sakura and Hinata wearing full masks. Can you make a fox this size? Sakura inquires. Yeah. I can even go as small as Haru, says Naru. After an hour, the three arrive at the Ray of Sky and the entrance to Sanagakure, having dispelled his fox form a few meters away. Halt, state your case, yells a Jonin. Naruto removes his mask but applies a henge to his face. Menma, the shinobi hunter. I have a bounty only for Kazekage Gaara's eyes, he claims. Okay, but your companions take off their masks, the Jonin says. Hinata and Sakura agree, but the Jonin furrows his brow at the black cloth, saying, my eyes are sensitive to light. Alright. Follow the path, but Anbu will be watching, says the Jonin. The three enter the village, their silent escorts remaining on the roofs. You saved Gaara, but you're being treated as an outsider, Sakura observes. It's all right, Cherry. I am meant to be a ghost, Naruto responds, but notices the lockdown. Are you still on high alert? Hinata inquires, and Naruto nods slowly. When they arrive at the Kazekage Tower, their escorts disband to return to their posts. Is Gaara-sama in? Naruto inquires as they approach his office. As Naruto and his companions enter, the secretary nods and buzzes them in, causing Gaara to look up from his desk. Ghost has returned with 2 new companions. Do you want to say something to me? Naruto rubs his head as Gaara says. It's Cherry and Cinnamon. They are members of my mercenary group, Kuroi Yhi, Naruto says as he pulls out a pair of scrolls. Like Sen and Mercy from the snow? Gaara inquires, and Naruto nods. Exactly the same. I have a surprise for you. Sasori of the red sand in the Sandame Kazecage's puppet body, Naruto says, and Gaara's eyes widen as she takes the scrolls. I discovered him in grass, where he was meeting with a contact, but the contact escaped during the ensuing battle between us. He was a fearsome foe and a master of the human puppet. His Sandame might be able to use his iron sand, Gaara is shocked as Naruto explains. Gaara inquires, did he reveal anything? Just to return his body to his grandmother Chiyo, replies Naruto. Gaara looks at the scrolls quietly for a moment before rising from his seat and handing another scroll to Naruto. This is a proposal for a partnership with Spring Country. I've kept this from the council for the time being in order to keep Konoha in the dark, Gaara clarifies. Right. I'll send it to Koyuki-sama on the way to Fire Capital, Naruto says, as Gaara raises an eyebrow, just deposit Sasori's bounty into my account. You don't make things boring, Gaara and Naruto exclaim, before apologizing. Now we'll flash there, Naruto says as he pulls his mask back up. The three easily exit Suna, and Naruto grabs their shoulders before flash-stepping far enough away and utilizing the Hiraishin to reach Fire Country. Investment Capital. Sakura and Hinata exclaim as they stand in a warehouse, where are we? Sakura wonders. Naruto removes his coat and lowers his mask, I own a warehouse. I actually own several in various countries, he claims. A way to Hiraishin around, Hinata says as she takes off her cloth. Naruto nods slowly as he unseals a large crate containing fruits. See a normal storage facility, he says, resealing the crate. So, who's your contact? Sakura inquires as Naruto seals and unseals his assassin coat. Madam Yumi, Naruto responds, as Sakura follows him out of the warehouse. Hinata inquires, why Yumi-san? It's really quite simple. People have loose lips before and after they have sex. Yumi's brothel serves as an information hub. A large number of high-ranking individuals pass through Heavenly Moon, Naruto elaborates. Getting information in a bar or club is similar. People talk because their inhibitions are lower, Sakura says something, and Naruto nods. It came in one. Yumi taught me the ways of sex, and I asked her to keep her ear to the ground for me, as stated by Naruto. The trio travels through town until they arrive at Heavenly Moon in the Red Light District. Many of the women saw him and began to flock towards them, saying, Menma-kun back already. Oh Menma-kun. Join us Menma-kun. Girls, leave him alone. Can't you see his two companions' glares? A voice declares Sakura and Hinata notice a slender, yet voluptuous woman with white hair pinned in a bun, light brown eyes, and a small beauty mark under her left lower lip. She's dressed in a low-cut red kimono that hangs loosely over her upper arms, revealing her décolletage. She also has heavy blue eyeshadow and green lipstick on, as well as matching green nails. Hello, Madam Yumi, the woman greets. Yumi slaps her fan on her wrist, amused, and asks, so what brings you today with two beautiful women? Can we talk in private? Asks Naruto, and Yumi nods, inviting them to follow. Ino and Hinata follow Naruto quietly as Yumi leads them to a private VIP room. Would you girls like to bathe? Yumi asks as she slides open the door, but both girls decline. Yumi sits on a large cushion next to a low table, while Naruto sits across from her. As Naruto picks up the kiseru on the table, Sakura and Hinata take the other cushions next to him. How are things in the palace? He asks, getting to the point. Yumi's eyes darken and she claps her hands, activating the seal that Naruto had placed. His nephew comes here frequently. He drinks, whores, and complains about everything. His son, on the other hand, speaks more freely. He complains about his father not receiving something, but he never goes into detail. Yumi explains as she accepts a cup of sake from Naruto. Did he say what? Sakura inquires, and Yumi looks to Naruto, who nods. Something they've been waiting for years. That is kept close to the daimyo's vest, Yumi responds. Most likely Uzushio's riches, Naruto thought as he smoked his kiseru. You should also know that Toad arrived last week, Yumi says as she puffs on her kiseru. Naruto sighs and taps his ashes, releasing a plume of smoke. It's not surprising. No competent woman would touch him unless she was well compensated. Yumi laughs as he says this. He did say something interesting, despite his usual spiel. He travels north to Snow in order to persuade former actress Yukie Fujikaze, now Daimyo Koyuki Kazuhana, to star in his Icha Icha Paradise film. Yumi claims Naruto sighs and shakes his head. He never ceases to irritate me, he thinks. Anything else of significance? Asks Naruto. Yumi takes a swig of her kiseru. It's been quiet, but word is that the last Uchiha has returned to Konoha. Following the death of the Godem and several others, but with no further details, she says, making both girls frown. Naruto reaches into his coat and pulls out an envelope of money, clapping his hands and releasing the barrier. Menma-kun, no problem. Will you stay a while? Yumi says as she stands up and stuffs the envelope between her breasts. Sure. Bring us a full course seat and some sake, Naruto says as he takes Yumi's seat on the cushion. Yumi smiles and excuses herself as Sakura and Hinata take seats next to him. Things we knew and more information, Sakura says. Are there no good people in the daimyo's family? Asks Hinata. Perhaps his wife, but Tora has shown otherwise, Naruto muses as they both laugh. It's interesting that Konoha is spreading the Sasuke is back among them, Naruto says, setting the kiseru down. I'm sure he uses it to get whatever he wants. I can't believe I had feelings for him. He struck me as tragic. He has lost his family with a glum expression, Sakura says. We were kids. Sasuke was strong and the pride of Konoha, Naruto says as he runs his finger along her cheek. Anything else, Menma-kun? A few girls? Yumi asks as she returns with several women carrying trays. No, not right now. Yumi, thank you, says Naruto. Yumi bows and excuses herself, while Naruto pours himself a drink, saying, let's forget about certain things and enjoy the spoils. Kanpai, as he downs his sake with Sakura and Hinata. After about an hour, Naruto was sipping his sake while Sakura nipped at his neck with a red face. Hinata was wrapped in his coat, her skin red, and she mumbled, hee hee. I smell like Naruto-kun, she mumbled. Let's play, Naru Baka, Sakura says, kissing his neck and blowing into his ear. The stench of sex is unbearable here. I need to be free. Tsunade-sama told me that once she mated with you, all of her insecurity vanished, Sakura says as she climbs on top of him. Aside from Naru-kun. Don't you want to make love to Sakura-chan? Sakura coos and nips at his neck. Is this going to become a thing? Every time I go somewhere with them, Naruto thought, his gaze on the pinkette on his chest and the blue net on his right arm. Naruto creates a clone and exchanges places with it, grabbing a robe and slipping it on. He walks out of the room, but is met by one of the girls, who asks, Menma-san, is there anything you need? Nothing at the moment, says Naruto as he walks to the baths. Naruto washes himself and returns to his room, where both are still cuddled up with his clone. Tell them I'm leaving, Naruto says as he gets dressed but leaves his shirt off as he puts on his coat. He walks out the window and up to the roof, sighing as the knight caresses his bare chest. Nagato looks down to see a small jumping spider and says, "Hello, Lucas." "Hello." "Mama is here," Lucas says. Naruto returns his gaze to a tall woman with an extremely pale and flawless complexion, as if she's almost entirely made of porcelain. Her figure is curvy, with large breasts, a thin waist, and wide hips. She has long, black hair that is worn in an upwards fashion, with 2 long strands framing either side of her face, and eyes with completely gray irises and pupils, each with a black spider web pattern. She is dressed in a long black sleeveless gown, but it is so long that it completely conceals her feet and ends in 8 small trailing pieces of fabric, much like spider legs. A narrow black band encircles her neck, with a small spider emblem in the center and 8 extensions protruding outwards from the back, 4 on each side. Spider web netting, extending downwards from the aforementioned spider emblem, bridges the gap between the band and the dress. "Hello, Arachne," Naruto says as he lets Lucas onto his shoulder. "You know I like to stretch my legs once in a while," Arachne says as she opens her black fan. HMM. True. So anything Yumi overlooked, Naruto inquires. Apart from that heinous pervert. Pathetic poots of ejaculate. He should arrive in spring in about a week. I've got a few small ones on him, Naruto snorts as Arachne states her joke. Good. Can your children enter the Namikaze and Senju estates? Naruto inquires. I can, says Lucas, and Arachne laughs. I know you can, my dear. I can help Menma-kun, Arachne says as she catches her slip. Thank you, Arachne-sama, Naruto says, as he and Lucas vanish in a puff of smoke. Who was that Menma-kun? Says Hinata, standing next to Sakura. Naruto rises to his feet and stretches, Arachne. Boss summon of the Spider Clan, he says. I thought you summoned toads? Sakura inquires, and Naruto snorts and rubs his head. I did, but even though I technically flatlined, my name was crossed out despite my return. Furthermore, the toads betrayed me in a roundabout way, Naruto explains, shocking both of them. The great Toad Sage told Jiraiya that a student he would train would cause a great upheaval in the shinobi system. Naruto begins, looking up. In his infinite wisdom, he decided to hijack this prophecy and turn it in Konoha's favor, and they unknowingly followed along, Naruto concludes. So Jiraiya visited Sandaime-sama? Sakura inquires, and Naruto nods. Yes, but Gigi dismissed it. So that inspired him to go to Danzo and make it happen. He attempted it with his father, trying to steer him towards Danzo's thoughts, but Mom intervened and prevented Jiraiya from sinking his hooks into him, Naruto elaborates. So when your parents died, they had a blank slate with you to shape you, condition you into their weapon, Sakura explains. Once Jiraiya arrives in spring, I intend to reveal myself to him, says Naruto. Why reveal yourself? Hinata asks as he buttons up Naruto's coat. I just want to see his expression. When I'm finished, I'm going to lock that information up tight. Yamanaka will not be able to unlock, Naruto says, and both nod slowly. The three sneak back inside and gather their belongings before saying their goodbyes to Yumi and returning to spring. Aim. Diva Pain stares at the Toby blankly, but his eyes flash with rage. What do you mean all dead? He exclaims. Toby stood inside his cloak, arms crossed, saying, all the white Zetsu clones are dead. Which means Zetsu is dead. Conan says, Zetsu doesn't work on the front lines. That is correct, and Zetsu has died in some way. Then this ghost is a lot more dangerous than we thought, according to Toby. But how? Zetsu is an expert at concealment. If Ghost and Sasori really did kill Zetsu, how did they know he was there? He can hide in Pain Rain Sama's, Conan asserts. That is the query. Maybe we should reconsider bringing Ghost into Akatsuki, but Ki fills the room, says Toby. No. This Ghost has defied God. He is the devil, and he will be smitten, Diva Pain says. That is correct, Pain, but we have now lost 3 members. Our spy network is in disarray, according to Toby. No matter, Diva Pain says, Ghost is a threat we can no longer ignore.
Do you really want to go after Spring?
They, like AIM, are a small country, Conan objects, but Pain simply stares. They provide a safe haven for Ghost. To continue on the path to peace, they must be slain as God. Conan's eyes widen as Diva Pain says this. Toby makes contact with the others. I need them in AIM within 2 weeks, orders from Diva Pain. Toba's eyes narrow behind his mask, he has gone insane. Regardless, I can figure this out, he pondered. Toby says, of course, Pain-sama, and sucks himself into his eye, leaving Conan and Diva Pain behind. Nagato, what are you doing? Do you want to declare a country at war? To be comparable to the large countries that have used AIM as a battlefield. To bring peace, you would kill innocent people, Conan asserts. They will be sacrificed for the sake of peace. Do you want to abandon Yahiko's dream of peace, Diva Pain says. Conan's eyes flicker as he stares at Yahiko's body. This is not Yahiko's fantasy. You want to kill people in order to stop one person. Who could assist us? She claims. He is the devil. He seeks to disrupt our peace, Diva Pain exclaims. Nagato has been transformed by you. You've never been like this before. Madara has altered you in a negative way. Have you combined Yahiko's wish for peace with Madara's rhetoric? But Diva Pain smacks Conan across the face. Conan clutches her face in shock, but it quickly turns to rage, and she crumples to the floor. 5 people stood behind Conan, each with identical rippled patterned eyes, orange hair of various lengths and styles, and various piercing. As the strongest of the group lifts Conan onto his shoulder, no words are spoken. You have disobeyed God. You have now been expelled from heaven. According to Diva Pain, summon several shinobi to spread Conan's fall from grace. Spring arrives 1 week later. Koyuki sits on her throne, trying to hide her displeasure as Jiraiya performs his insane kabuki dance. If you're finished, Jiraiya-san. We can get right to work. She claims Jiraiya maintains his stance but sighs in defeat. All right Koyuki-chan, he says, flinching as Koyuki glares. Koyuki-sama. I have a proposal for both business and pleasure. I'd like you to come out of retirement to star in my Icha Icha Paradise film, Jiraiya says, but Koyuki frowns. You want to wish me a country's ruler to star in an adult film and tarnish my reputation? Jiraiya-san, Koyuki says. Yes, but you don't have to do the sexual parts, and if you want, you can do it with someone you trust. Jiraiya corrects his mistake. Koyuki's eyes close in disgust, but she hides it behind a blank mask. So you want me to debase myself in a sexual relationship with someone I trust or with an actor? I may no longer be a pure, but I do have expectations, she claims. It won't be that bad, says Jiraiya. Not too bad. If I were to star in this film, thousands of people would see me not only naked but also having sexual relations with someone. I am a ruler once more. Do you want my people to think of me as a common whore? Jiraiya flinches as Koyuki snaps. No, is my response. So, what is your other reason for visiting my country? Says Koyuki, right. The Rokudame Hokage Danzo Shimura has expressed a desire to meet with your hero, the Ghost of Spring. He would like him to come to Konoha, Jiraiya says, frowning. Your Hokage wishes to meet with my ghost. For what reason? Says Koyuki. His actions impressed Hokage-sama. Saving your country from annihilation at the hands of the Land of Sky. Killing an S-class missing nin in order to save the Kazekage. Hokage-sama wishes to meet him personally and possibly through him. Resumption of trade with Spring, Jiraiya elaborates. Jiraiya-san. You expect me to re-establish trade relations with a country. Have you forgotten about Naruto Uzumaki, or have you celebrated the death of someone who saved my country? Koyuki says, her anger concealed. A great loss, but one person shouldn't influence your decisions about these matters, Jiraiya says as the throne room doors open. Koyuki ascends to her throne. It has an impact on my decision. Konoha is a place that thrives on other sacrifices, she begins, but a smirk forms, right my ghost. She claims Jiraiya only turns to listen to some sweet chin music provided by Naruto and lays out the super pervert. That felt good, says Naruto, pumping his fist. What will you do to him? Asks Koyuki. Naruto slings Jiraiya over his shoulder. We'll talk for a while, and I'll keep his memories safe. He'll awaken in a bedroom with a made-up story. You will decline his offer, but I will accompany Anko to Konoha, he elaborates. Couldn't Konoha break it? Asks Koyuki, but Naruto shakes his head. Jiraiya awoke with a start an hour later, but found himself in a straitjacket and chained to a chair. What the hell happened? He thought, struggling to move. The room was sparsely furnished, with only one other chair and a metal table. Was I apprehended? So Spring has some capable shinobi, but a small yip catches Jiraiya's attention. The toad Sanin looks around and notices a small white fox with two tails, which causes him to glare and attempt to kick the fox. Haru, stay away from him. You have no idea where he has been, says a voice. Naruto sets the table with a pitcher of ice water, a glass, and a bowl. As Naru pours some water into the bowl, Haru yips and hops on the chair to the table. Do you know who I am? Do you know what country I represent? Asks Jiraiya. I know who you are. Jiraiya the Gallant. The Wildman of Konoha. Legendary Sanin. Lovely titles, Naruto says as he pulls the chair out and takes a seat to scratch Haru's ears. Jiraiya puffs his chest, but Naruto snorts. A title bestowed in failure and a shameful animal, says Naruto, folding his arms. Who are you? Jiraiya asks the unknown Naruto, and Naruto chuckles. So, you and I have a history. Don't my eyes appear familiar? Naruto says as he points to his slitted blue eyes. History. Did I have sex with your mother? Naruto snorts as Jiraiya says. It's been about 2.5 years since we met, Naruto says, reaching for his half mask but stopping. Does the name Naruto Uzumaki ring a bell? Naruto asks as he pours himself a glass of water, and Jiraiya's demeanor shifts. He's no longer alive. He died at the hands of the Akatsuki, but he was a demon disguised as a human, Jiraiya complains bitterly. The official story right, but the truth is Naruto was set to become the attack dog for Danzo Shimura, the Shadow Hokage and current Rokudame Hokage as of late, Naruto says, running his gloved finger along the rim of the full glass. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed as Naruto scratched Haru's ear once more. How could he know that? He wondered. Your silence speaks volumes, and you're probably wondering how I know that. The reason for this is actually quite simple. Because I was present, when Naruto pulls down his mask, Jiraiya's eyes widen. Kurama's words were auspicious that day, weren't they? Says Naruto, drinking some water with a smirk on his face. So spring is where you've been hiding, Jiraiya says, struggling in his chains. I haven't exactly been hiding. I did have to conceal my whiskers. A simple mask or henge will suffice. My blonde hair was a different story. So I dyed it permanently black with chakra ink, but I guess you could say I was hiding. Not idle, of course, Naruto says. Konoha will come for me, and they will finally have their weapon back, Jiraiya says, laughing as the door opens. Tsunade, did you hear? Konoha is coming for their pervert, Naruto says, and Jiraiya gasps as Tsunade walks by. Tsunade? How? Jiraiya exclaims, but his eyes widen as Tsunade deeply kisses Naruto and looks him in the eyes. My Naruto saved me from the corruption of Konoha, Tsunade says as she picks up Haru and the little fox snuggles her godly bosom. Show him, says Naruto, as Tsunade reveals her fox-like features. Jiraiya's eyes widen in horror as he sees Naruto's ears. Kurama gave up his soul to make me his offspring. Tsunade and others received this power from me, says Naruto. I had a feeling you were a demon. Tsunade, how could you have done this? Tsunade scratches Jiraiya across the face with her claws, causing him to scream in pain. Naruto gave me back all the years Konoha stole from me, Tsunade begins, clenching her teeth, and I also know what Konoha did to my grandmother's clan, specifically what you. Danzo and Orochimaru did, she growls. Jiraiya seizes with wide eyes but clips his gaze to Naruto, shouting, look what you've done to her. Oh, please. Don't blame me for your actions, Naruto says as he grabs Tsunade's shoulder. Take Haru out to lunch. He claims. Tsunade gradually calms down and picks up Haru again, hissing, I hope you die slowly, Jiraiya. Now that this brief interruption is over. The reason Tsunade knows the truth is that after Kurama saved me, he took me to Uzushio, Naruto says, and Jiraiya's face loses color. Another thing to know is that my parents left their imprints on the seal, and they know everything about my life. They will have words for you when you die, Naruto continues. Are you lying? Jiraiya yells. Naruto drinks some more water, his eyes twinkling. I am many things, but I am not a liar. I spent a month with my parents in my mind, learning everything they knew until their chakra ran out. Then I used tens of thousands of shadow clones to gain years, if not decades, of experience, he says as he leans in closer. I'm familiar with Hiraishin, and I took it a step further. Of course, I can still use the kunai. I have several hundred sealed on my body, but I developed an advanced shunshin technique known as the flash step, Naruto continues, and Jiraiya's eyes widen. Not only do my opponents have to be concerned about the kunai, but I can also move at the same rate. Ufufufufu, says Naruto. Jiraiya says, you truly are a demon, but Naruto wags his finger. Jiraiya, you. Danzo, Orochimaru, and Konoha are the true demons. You begin by betraying the Uzumaki clan. Pervert fires will. You used your sensei as an unwitting pawn to drive me towards Danzo, and then you sacrificed him for your own ends, says Naruto. Sensei was too soft-hearted to make the difficult decisions. Too emotional to hand you over to Danzo for your fate, Jiraiya yells. My fate. The fate of all Jinchuriki right to be weapons of their villages, but those words are all Danzo's rhetoric, but your compensation for joining for that emotion-hating warhawk was Tsunade right, says Naruto. So what? Tsunade is deserving of someone like me. A true man. A real man. Dan Kato is not a girly man, Jiraiya yells. Tsunade would never marry a perverted, whiny man-child like you, grandfather, sneers Naruto. Grandfather? Jiraiya exclaims, crossing his legs. Grandfather, yes. Your father was a bastard. One of many, I'm guessing from your many sexual romps around the world. He wanted to tell you something, but he saw the real you. A scumbag with no morals or talent, to say the least. The Sanin's weakest and dumbest member, Naruto, responds. Jiraiya lurches forward, but the chains keep him immobile. As a child, I should have smothered you. Your very existence killed my son and Kushina, he claims. Oh, Dad is now your son. How much of a scumbag are you? When I told you that he was your son, you've claimed him. Guess what, Toad? It was all a lie. Jiraiya, my father would never have the genes of a walking infection like you. The older man is enraged when Naruto spits. Jiraiya, get off it. You spread infection to others. Your very being is a cancer. If Gigi had never met you, he might still be alive. Tsunade would not have had to suffer as much if she hadn't met you. Because of your desire for her, Orochimaru was able to take her brother and Danzo and set up Dan, says Naruto. How in the world do you know that? Jiraiya is spitting. Naruto pulls out a black book from his sleeve. This book contains many secrets. Danzo considered himself a genius, but Gigi was smarter. The Azukage sent him a copy of this book before the fall of Uzushio. He was aware of everything Danzo did, including both of your actions. Gigi, on the other hand, was a bit soft when it came to people like you and Danzo. Even Orochimaru was planning on giving this book to Mom and Dad, but Kurama's attack occurred, and his one chance was lost with their deaths. Dad would have had the power to purge the guilty from the council and start over, he explains, smiling, and I can imagine Danzo's face if this came to light. He continues. Naruto, Konoha will destroy you. Even if you have the Hiraishin, you cannot stop a village that knows all of your strengths and weaknesses, Jiraiya says, but Naruto grabs his throat. Konoha's time is running out. Have you forgotten yet? I spent a year training on Uzushio. That still leaves a year and a half unexplained. As the ghost of spring, I've made quite a name for myself, Naruto says, causing Jiraiya to freeze. Yes. You understand what I mean. The S-rank threat who annihilated the Land of Sky, as well as Deidara the Mad Bomber of Iwa and Sasori the Red Sand. Isn't that why you came all this way? To meet the ghost, but the ghost is the demon brat, says Naruto. Jiraiya sputters, you're lying. Naruto tilts his head, a grin on his face. Jiraiya, I warned you. I never lie. I am the spring ghost. I destroyed the Land of Sky and sank it to the bottom of the sea, he says, clearing his throat. Consider this. I make my way back to Konoha. I transform into a fox and annihilate it. Just like Kurama did all those years ago. But this time, there's no Yondaime to seal the deal. As Jiraiya's eyes widen, Naruto sneers. Sasuke will stop you, Naruto, Jiraiya says, but Naruto laughs softly, which quickly turns into full-fledged laughter. You sound a lot like Ino. On my worst day, Sasuke cannot defeat me. His ninjutsu was weak. His taijutsu was pathetic. His genjutsu was useless. I know he wants to confront me as Ghost, but he'll fail and then whine. I'm a Uchiha, and I can't lose. Blah, 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 Naruto says, smirking. I bet. If I said, I can make him as strong as I am, he would have to leave Konoha and join me. He will do it without hesitation, Naruto continues, but Jiraiya remains silent. Your silence speaks volumes. I'm sure Danzo is aware of it as well, Naruto makes a remark. So, demon, what happens now? Jiraiya hisses. Naruto makes a fist and blows on it before shining it up and slamming a left straight into Jiraiya's face. That, Naruto muses as Jiraiya passes out. The door opens, and Sakura walks in with a sachet of her hips, asking, "Finished Naruto un?" Yeah. It would be a waste to do anything else. He'll get it eventually. I'll give Tsunade her pound of flesh, says Naruto. No kidding, Shisho will tear limb from limb, Sakura says as she circles Jiraiya and softly kisses Naruto on the lips.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.